Hi, my name is Char Pittman, and I pastor with my husband at World Harvest Church in Rice Lake. And I'm really excited to share this testimony with you. I think it's going to help a lot of people. I was born and raised in a little town called Abbeville, Louisiana. And I was raised in a home where my dad was an alcoholic, and anger in the home was very normal. And when you're raised in something like that is normal, but really isn't normal, when you're raised, you believe that reacting in anger is just a normal way of life. I grew up somewhat in church. I was a part of a youth group, and so I had amazing youth leaders that really helped me in my journey with the Lord. But there were still things that I was in bondage to, and I didn't realize it until I went to International Bible College in San Antonio, Texas, when I was 17 after I graduated high school, and there met my husband, my now husband. His name is Bob Pittman, and we got married and moved up north to Rice Lake, and then things kind of just started. I started realizing that my behavior and my anger and all of that stuff was like, I remember my husband saying one time, he said, why do you holler at, and I'm like, I don't holler. And I realized that my behavior, what I thought was normal, was not normal. And so then it kind of started me on a journey of saying, God, I don't want to be like this, And so I went to a Joyce Meyer conference, and I was sitting in this conference. It was a women's conference. We drove to St. Louis for it. And I was standing in the Coliseum type thing, and I was making fun of the lady that was with Joyce Meyer. I was just some of the things that she was wearing, because along with anger comes a lot of judgmental attitudes and being critical, and that I was very judgmental and a very critical person. And so anyways, making fun of this lady, and then all of a sudden there's this wave that's coming across, kind of like when they do the wave in a football game, but it was this wave of laughter. And as this wave of laughter was coming and it came to where I was standing, I fell to the floor, and I was on the floor for probably 45 minutes. And while I was on the floor, I was laughing and crying. It was like this going between the two. I had no idea what was going on with me. And then I stood up and sat back down, and it was like, I don't know if you ever got glasses for the first time. I used to work for an eye doctor, and when these little kids would come in and get their glasses for the first time and they would put them on, they would be like, oh my gosh. They could see, and they could see the things that they couldn't see before. And it was like I could see things bright and clear for the first time, and it completely changed my whole life. I remember going home, and my husband looks at me and he's like, what happened to you? Because he could tell that something had happened to me. And so I was completely set free that night of a spirit of anger. And it was like, and what I mean by that is that it didn't mean that I didn't get angry after that. It meant that anger didn't control me anymore. That I actually, when I would get angry, I actually could control the anger. And realizing that when we struggle, when we have emotions, when we have negative emotions that come up like that sometimes they control us, and sometimes that we need freedom from them. But mostly when negative emotions come up, they're really an indicator of something I believe that could be deeper. Whether it is from childhood trauma, like for myself that I went through, I realized that once you're set free, now I can enjoy life, which is what God intended for me from the very beginning. And so being set free from the spirit of anger, and now when I do have these negative emotions that come, and they do, now I own them, they don't own me. Because the anger, even though I struggle with anger wasn't my identity, although I was told a lot of negative things about me from very close people and even family. But realizing that the Bible is true when it says that when we are born again, we become brand new. It says that if anybody who is in Christ, we become a new creation. That means something that didn't exist before. my hope for you, anybody listening to this, is that you'll hear this and that you will know that you are not your emotion, you are not your anger, you're not your feelings, that you are and you can be brand new in Christ, and you can actually, honestly, you can actually enjoy life and every day get up, even though you might feel depressed, but you can get up and you can believe that God has called you to something greater. So thank you for listening.